Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're so fucking back. We're so fucking back. I'm depressed. I'm depressed. I want to be around my favorite women. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 da, ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. Yeah, this sucks. I'll be right over. Hell yeah. Why is it doing that? All right. We're doing some chill shit today. We're not doing anything. We're not doing anything crazy today. We're not doing anything wild today. We're gonna be playing some Hades 2. Some Hades 2. We gotta get fucking hyped for streams, y'all. This needs to be my endorphin hit now. If I don't turn this into my fucking endorphin hit, I'm gonna lose my mind. Okay. There we go. All right, we're gonna turn this down. We're gonna keep going on our old one. I unlocked the fucking challenge mode thing. This thing's sick. There's like different trials. I did a couple, but I think once you finish these, you can get more. So we're just gonna hop right into these bitches because I'm craving. I am yearning for gaming. Absolutely yearning. All right. Oh, I see. I see what's going on here. I don't have any... Erebus Gloom, surrounding aura. Typical for this place. Look for a Molly in your surroundings. Ooh. Make a channeling speed. Interesting. So we don't have any of our... For this challenge, we don't have any of the fun little... What's it called? What's it called? I forgot the name. The little aspect things that you spend the points on. So we're going completely blind through this. Like without any of the special little power-ups. Okay. Ooh. Wait. Do we want to go down to let's just pause the music because I forgot the game has in-game music. Do we want to go down here? Or do we want to go fucking moon bitch? I want to, yeah. Yeah, we do have blood despair. Fry Julian for the outcome, but okay, I guess I'll go with this, huh? I'll take the mana regeneration, whatever the fuck it's called. Okay. I'll take an upgrade. So anyways, gamers, how are we doing today? What are we thinking? Shop, huh? I barely have any special cast. Sprinter Shores. Oh, I like that. I'll take that. I'll take that. So, like, when are you coming over, though? That's the real question. Wow. Oh, wait. Oh, it's such a long range. That's insane. Pretty good. Still annoyed about the worm.
Foes are nowhere to be found.
You gotta understand though. God damn. You gotta understand though how funny that is for me. How fucking hilarious that is for me. You're welcome. It's a good worm. It's a really good worm. Health, okay, I'll take it. But yeah, no, it's a good worm. It's a good worm. I think at least.
Aid from two relatives at once.
No way, wait, this is a thing? Oh, I like this one more.
Just look at the flickering, sorry mess we've become. We've all got...
Okay. Oh, this was only a thing from before. Yep. Had a feeling. Yeah, no, this is so good. This is I missed this. The fucking challenge of the gods. When like you get yeah. Nice. 2 boons. 2 boons for 1. Specials inflict scorch. Give up 1 extra dose. What does extra dose do? Extra dose has a chance to hit 2 times. Ooh, more life and magic, but minus my chance to... I'm just going to go with the double hit or the special. I haven't really done much Hestia stuff, to be honest with you, but... yeah. I don't know what's going on with my chat, but it's like... Let's pull up my... Oh, shoot. Yeah, I don't know why. It's like only putting up half my messages. It would be a good room if I didn't have pre-existing opinions. Oh. Yeah, I can see how that might be not super great. Pre-existing opinions on people can really like affect your like opinions on stuff. Okay. Time to go fight mommy. I mean
Sure enough.
Hecate. I don't know how I got those two mixed up. Like, just like, look at those fucking abs.
Took such lessons to her.
These are the unrealistic expectations that they're putting us through. Oh, you can't even see her. Oh, I am... Ooh, this is one life, too. I didn't realize that. I gotta be very careful. Oh, no.
Nothing back. My favorite trick.
Oh, no. Oh, this is rough. This is difficult. No! Okay, no more hits. Next hit's death. No! I have to be so fucking careful here. Oh! Hello. Ah! Oh! 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 Woo! That was scary.
Still, you bested me.
Woo!
Praise.
Oh my god.
Good find.
Jesus Christ, that was rough. I was 5 health too. Hi, Coopers. Oh, buddy. Yo, chat, Cooper. Cooper's been feeling well. Come here, buddy. Come here. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. Oh, Cooper has the cone on. Oh, Cooper keeps biting himself, so he has the cone on right now. Oh, poor buddy. Oh, you want to eat scratches. I'm back. Aw. He likes the scritches. Okay, you want to go outside? Okay, Cooper needs to go outside really quick. I'll be right back, chat. I'll be right back. Chill out with this frog. All right. Sorry about that, gamers. I have returned. You know what? I kind of want to wash my hands because now I smell like dog. Where's my... All right, shatters. Shatter. All right, shatters. Shat. What's going on here? How's the frog?
Either chaos has an interest in my victory, or perhaps I'm just a bit of entertainment.
Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do. Why am I so fast?
So, no matter.
And there she is. Shouldn't you be happy?
Princess, thank the fates you're well. Nemesis and I.
Oh, great. I can imagine.
Got a lot of brothers. What's to tell? Never a good sign when he shows.
I'm afraid she's right.
Fiercely fought.
Huh. Do those not count? Like, do these not count for that?
Goddess.
Yeah, give me a second, buddy.
May I?
No.
Our garden flourish.
Oh, fudge. I wanted to go talk to him, too. Gosh darn it.
You asked before about how I managed it. The pressure.
You said you always believed there was a solution.
Good. But it occurred to me there's something else. It was love that drove me up.
You were left with no choice but to fight. So you...
Sound familiar, does it?
That's insane.
What say
That's
they?
actually so good.
Descura, awaken.
What is Enmare? Okay, last one's Trial of the Moon. I failed this one before. I've failed this one before.
I feel bid you shine.
The dark of night begins. Please make your choice. Total eclipse. My light is yours.
Bonk. I need something to get my, like, damage up. I need to get my funny up before I get my money up, you know? Womp. 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 Oh. For some reason, I want to get this leveled all the way up again. This is actually, I missed streaming, y'all. I missed streaming. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Predictable. The path of stars.
I'm so fucking psyched. What's this?
I walked the path.
Oh, again? Wait, are we just gonna fucking fully, like, max this shit out?
You again.
Bam. Womp. All right.
Begone from here.
How many do I get this time? 3? Okay. I'll do that. I'm gonna do this one.
Chaos.
I'm doing this. I'm doing the chaos gate. Why not? Why are they so twinked up? Why are they so fucking twinked up? That's my question. Fucking crazy how twinked up this bitch is.
You and me.
You and me and this bitch. Beautiful. Easy as that.
Not with you.
Moonlight there, young lady.
Almost as if
Haha.
Selene herself anointed you. Alas, that she must ride across the night while you
Ah.
left to your own devices on the ground.
Sure. Sure, buddy. I'll take Blitz on this.
Every time.
I love how they just don't know.
No threats nearby.
Ooh. I'm gonna go with this one. I'll take another Selene upgrade. Why not? All right. Some more Selene upgrades. Okay. This has 100% power. Okay, so I only need one more Selene upgrade and I'm good. Boom! Look at that. Beautiful. Maxed out fucking Selene. Okay, I'll go this because I'm gonna try and get the faster really quick. My main volume is all the way down. And I just realized y'all cannot hear this shit. There we go. Much better. Ow. Ow! That fucking hurt.
My chaos cast.
Your mom would travel back and forth between Olympus and your father's house, and I had the pleasure of accompanying her. One day, she didn't show up. I knew right then and there something was off.
Huh.
Should be useful.
What do we want to go here? We're probably going to go with this because I need some more, like, stun things, right? Boom. Easy as that. I want to see if I can get the special.
Gorgeous.
Boom.
That's a feeling there.
I don't exactly have the money for a shop. Let's get some more magic, I suppose. It's probably just gonna be free. Yep. All right. Hecate, maybe I can kill you this time. I'm not exactly sure.
Perhaps some evening I shall reach this point so quickly that I'll slip by before you arrive, headmistress.
I've no intent to permit any such possibility. Not even if you've the swiftness of Hermes speeding you on. Crossed flames awaken. Look now upon the moon.
Damn.
Divide and strike.
Aid me.
The eclipse. Pardon the interruption. Sisters, to me! Behold the moon.
Hell yeah.
Victory.
I just fucked her up with that last one. With that.
Return to shadow now.
A gift.
She's so mad that I just keep beating her ass. She's so mad I keep beating her ass.
You. Return to shadow now.
She's so fucking angry about it. So mad. Back to reality. Whoop, there goes gravity. Sorry. The fucking brain worms, the wigglers. The little wigglers.
Another chaos trial down.
Who dares?
You know, it's kind of spooky how you never come in through the front flap anymore. Ever think of taking up haunting yourself?
Oh yes. I figure if none of this works out, a lot of us can wander the earth, striking fear into the hearts of any mortals who dare look upon us.
Now we're talking.
Jesus.
Excellent.
I have 52 of them bitches now.
To fight.
We're getting there.
Farewell. Trade you.
Up and about.
Have you caught Eris snooping through our plans or anything?
She stays over in her little corner mostly, goddess, but I've been keeping my eye on her in case of anything. As
Odysseus.
long as she undermines our efforts well out of here.
He was in the first game, yeah? I remember.
We can plan around it, you mean?
Aye.
Come along.
All right. Anywhere else for me to talk to anyone? Damn, girl don't bathe. She got that girl musk.
Hey,
Babe?
you really
Look.
want to know the way things used to be, Trouble? Think about everything that gets
I'm
you
Trouble?
tent night after night. Gets you fired up. What comes to mind?
Sure. Those I care about are counting on me. And I...
Inspiring. Now imagine having everything you want. So you're left wanting nothing at all.
No, I can't imagine that. So everyone besides you was self-indulgent and unmotivated. But now the roles are reversed, I suppose.
You don't get it. Fine.
That's kind of an interesting concept. How, like... Because when you get to the point of having everything that you want, like, there's a difference between the things you want and you need, right? And so, like,
Quite.
I don't know. This was the hardest one? Oh, this was the one without, yeah. Interesting. What are the things I need to do to unlock the new challenges, though, is the question. Surge of fresh air. Cause the Shrine of Hermes to appear in the space between the surface region. Between new surface. Where you can use special order using useful items using gold. Reveal and oh, I want this. So I need bronze and iron. So I need to take the pickaxe and I need to go to the surface. Okay, I have the pickaxe.
Do I dare?
Okay.
This way this time. Hold on, everyone.
All right.
Fine work as always.
Beautiful. Got some moss.
No way around the city. Have to get through. Quickly. Damn you.
Ow. That was a lot of damage right away. Holy shit.
I said that we don't ever fight with one another on Olympus, little niece.
Cut.
We might be special maxing on this one. What do we got here? Okay, so we're going up. We're gonna go to that north one. Let's get 2 of hers. Let's get Hephaestus and we'll get the health. Yeah? How many we got?
Sort of barrier.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 6 that I can go to. So I'm gonna go to this one first. Let's get the Salune one too.
Signs back. Pile on there. I'll tear it apart.
I do not do a lot of damage. Bang! Bang! Hi, Hera. Hell fucking yeah. Ooh, an extra layer.
What?
See, this is so much better already. But extra health, I'll take it. So we're down 1 pylon. Let's go get Salune. I can do that so much faster now. Is that a higher speed for that?
Behold.
For me.
Damn. We got a lot of these extra rooms going on right now. Okay. Let's go to Hephaestus. It's like a fucking domino effect. Damn. Damn.
Normally, to be otherwise, Athena would be for.
Ooh, I like that. Open.
Should head back out.
More stuff to mine? Oh.
Go, Freenos.
Hell yeah. See you later. Oh my god, we're getting so lucky on this one.
Lord Hermes. Hermes must be in the area. Should get here soon enough.
Okay. I'll accept 2 encounters to get it, like order it. I'm down with that. That's so fucking cool. We'll get the health. What the hell? Oh, hi there.
I'm passing through, and I'm not leaving here until the train.
Stay out of my path.
We're almost there. Hold on.
I won.
There. You earned your share. You live.
Hell yeah.
My good graces granted, but
God, he is so fucking cool.
stand against the filth that's overtaken this accursed town.
I aim to cleanse the filth down to the source.
Hell yeah.
Because
This
I've
guy's
seen
so
the
fucking
underworld,
cool.
Though I've been
What a coincidence. I just returned from there not long ago. So the gods are putting all the pieces into place. I go.
Damn. That guy is so cool. He's so fucking angsty. He's kind of, honestly, I say he's cool. He's kind of a goober. He's kind of a fucking goober. How many places do I have left? I have 2 left. Let's go here. If I can get her...
There's my
Oh!
in the name of Hades. I grow strong.
Greetings from Olympus.
Oh my god, this is so good. I'm so overpowered right now.
All quiet.
Oh, a mini Salune upgrade. Can I get to? Hell yeah. Hell fucking yeah. I'll take it. Okay. Now, do we want our Herm? Okay, well, let's take a look here. What do we got? What do we got left?
What's left of
So we have... Okay, we have a Poseidon, a Hermes, an Aphrodite. We have Magica. And then we have... what's her name? Hera. So, honestly, I think Aphrodite is going to be really good for the sprint. Or do I want to go double magic? Let's go double magic.
Providing covering fire.
Artemis.
Nice.
This feeling.
I'm like crazy overpowered here. I'm crazy overpowered here.
Hermes wouldn't have asked me to go if it wasn't
Then by all means. What a time that you're on your way. Here's what I have.
a gift.
A little mini Max Life. That's so fucking cute.
I'll show myself out. Can't get through.
All right. We have a lot of coin to go talk to Charon really quick.
Something nearby.
Okay. We'll do that.
On my authority.
Hi, Charon.
Farewell, Lord Charon.
All right. This bitch is about to get his ass beat. He's actually about to get his ass beat.
I wanted to.
You're back, and you're grateful that I vanquished you earlier. You seem more the...
I am. It's just. I hadn't had a good night's sleep, and I don't know how long. I'll find you. I'll wake the dead. Not gone far. There.
I can't.
Ow. Got his ass. Get fucked, idiot. Get fucked, idiot. Get curb stomped. No! Damn. That's on me. It's alright. They gave them all textures. Cooked that fraud for real. Wait, they gave everything textures. Oh, this is so cool. What? Oh, this is sick. These look so good. Oh my word.
Set.
That looks so good. I didn't know that they added those.
This ship's no closer to repair. The ship's helm.
All right. I have a lot of health and I have a lot of magic. I'm actually feeling really good about this already.
Here we go.
Yeah, we'll go Hephaestus.
Let's begin.
God, those guys have so much health. Holy shit. Okay, we'll go with Hera. I'm going to give her one of these because I don't have her thing yet.
Out of all the matters you could be attending to, you've chosen to aid me.
Is there a wedding date that I should know about? Or are you merely being generous with me? In any case.
You truly
There it
Your
is.
Majesty.
Adamant shard rank up. Sick. Let's go with coin.
Beginning attack run.
What? Icarus? What
Icarus?
are you doing here?
Really?
Well done.
Icarus? Oh my god, they have updated this game so much.
Evening.
Oh,
It's really you.
Icarus!
Before you say anything, I know I'm not supposed to be here, but I spotted this ship and I had to drop in.
Wait. Before I'm moving this stuff just for this game. It's him! It's Icarus!
Right there, Icarus. I'm not
I've never
opposed to
seen
just fly
Icarus
out on
before.
without a chat at least.
The same thing I've been doing. Slowing these bastards down.
I mean, I'm assuming he doesn't look great.
A little bit, this war would have been well over by now.
That may be so, but this is a matter between gods and titans. I wouldn't want you to get hurt.
Bit late for that, Nelly. Anyway.
Oh my god.
But let me. You won't be disappointed.
Thanks.
Bye for now.
Bye, Icarus. Oh, little boy. Yeah, Icarus is supposed to be dead, as per like the they're giving me a lot of money, and I don't know if I'm gonna have a chance to use all of it.
Special delivery.
Oh.
I know you were expecting me, son.
You see, my dear?
Oh, combinations. That's so fucking sick. What did I get from Hermes? Let's go with Hermes here.
Enough of this. Moonlight, guide us.
Look at our little buddy.
Your life, last thing he ever wants to do is get his. Hell yeah.
Look at how many fucking boons we have. We're not even to the second fucking boss yet.
Guess who, sunshine?
Him again. All right. My goodness, there's so much shit going on. It's just so much. Like the domino effect from Hera is insane. Like, it's almost better for there to be more enemies on the screen. Because when there's more enemies on the screen, I have more, like, chances to hit things.
The sheer might of the moon.
Like this. Watch how fast all these dudes die. Just like that. Done. Done. Gone.
Delivery arrived.
I am. Two of each. You deal more damage. So I need more air and more water. So we're gonna focus air and water then.
Breaking through. What's Hermes offering this eve?
How long is that gonna take? 5 encounters, 1 encounter, 3 encounter. Okay. And a shop. And a shop is crazy.
Solid ground ahead. Olympus, I accept this message.
Okay. So I just need water. I need a water thing. Which hopefully I can get from the random boon that I get. Hi, bitch.
Give back the... You mean the golden apple that you very likely stole? Supposedly they grow but in a single garden, and I highly doubt that such a place would let you in.
Life starts to get a lot more interesting once you accept that you don't always need an invitation to show up. Fine.
Damn.
Take the apple then.
Ow. Fudge.
That does it.
Ow. 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 Woo! And okay, there's my first Death Defiance.
More. Get. I've had it.
Not now.
One for the both of us.
Okay. Woo!
You're making a mistake.
Buzz off. There.
Okay. That was rough. We don't have enough money to buy a...
Thus, the ever-ready princess of the underworld gained the very heights.
Oh, was that the... I forgot that was the last fight, wasn't it?
An unspeakable horror that awaits. So unspeakable is that horror that it cannot adequately be described, nor even shown.
Pranked.
At least not at this time. All that it offers now is a deep sense of dread and swift return from whence the princess came.
Can't believe it. I forgot there was another fight. I thought I was getting the... What was the one little mini boss fight? It was like a Kraken. There was a Kraken that looks pretty good.
A satisfactory result that time, wouldn't you say?
Took you long enough.
What would you do if you had the tent all to yourself anyway, Dora? You could invite all...
What, you mean share it? No, not sharing the tent is the entire point. A proper haunting has a 1-to-1 ratio between the haunted and the hauntee. Even I haven't forgotten.
I can't...
Okay. Speaking of like haunting and horror stuff, when I was in my trip, we watched a movie called Grave Encounters, which was like this, like, imagine there is a TV show, one of those shitty like ghost TV shows that basically is just like, oh yeah, we're going on these like adventures and we're gonna like record these ghosts. And it like basically was just, the entire thing was all like, they're trying to like fake this ghost TV show, but they walk into a real haunted place and it like has this fucking like, one second. I don't know, one second. Let me pull up a picture of the type of stuff like this. Stuff like this. This kind of horror. This kind of horror scares the shit out of me. Like this type of shit. This is the shit I see in my nightmares. And like this. I'm not even kidding. This kind of horror is my biggest fear. Besides like oceans. Like if there was like an ocean horror, that would probably be scarier. But stuff like this, like this kind of horror scares the absolute fuck out of me. It's just, that is the type of shit that like keeps me up at night. Like those are the types of fucking horror movies that scare the absolute bejeebas out of me. I need to eat something. really. I need to go get a fucking salad or something. I got salads from the store. I'm gonna go grab it really quick. Oh my goodness. Oh my word. My dog jumping up right underneath my leg while I'm trying to walk past him. All right. All right. While we're eating this salad, let's watch something. Let's watch something on the YouTubes, actually. Let's pull this up. We'll go to, let's see what's going on YouTube. A comprehensive history of internet horror. Okay, you know what? Since we're already on the topic, let's pull this up. Since now my ADHD brain is on it.
Internet horror. We all know it. We all have opinions on it. You might love it, you might hate it. Whatever way you swing, I'm simply here today to go over its history, evolution, and impact. It's very important that the first thing we start with here is the definition I'll be using. When I'm referring to internet horror, this encapsulates projects, videos, and stories that have primarily been created, grown, and shared through the online space. It doesn't necessarily mean that they completely originate online, but for the most part, that's what we'll be going over. Now with the definition out of the way, let's go over the format. I'll be going over different periods of internet history, and throughout it, plotting notable instances of internet horror on a timeline, which will show their point of origin, as well as their ending, or loss of relevance. In cases where an entry has yet to end, their point will simply continue onwards into the future. And if you're watching this years into the future, I'm very sorry that I can't time travel and add 2024's The Schmeglo Files ARG into this video, as I know it was a big hit. But enough about the future, because we're going back to the past.
Terrible.
To the non-specific time period of the pre-1990s.
Okay, pre-1990s. This is everything before 1990s.
Before the 90s, the internet as we know it didn't really exist, as it was in the 90s that the concept of cyberspace began to take form. As a quick history lesson, modern computers have been around for a long, long time. Like, everything was still in black and white when they were invented, and I think just before that was actual cowboy times. Just as a quick reference, here's what computers looked like back in the 80s. Thing looked straight out of Fallout. The internet itself has had a similarly long, and frankly way too complicated history for this video. All that really needs to be known for this is that it didn't truly go mainstream until the early to mid-90s, when things like browsers, web pages, and other programs were made available to the public by using the internet.
The internet!
The closest we can come to internet horror in this time frame wouldn't really be internet horror, but rather computer horror. This mainly came in the form of various media, such as movies like War Games, Evil Speak, and Terminator, as well as new genres such as cyberpunk.
Terminator is considered a horror movie?
The internet, most of these told stories that had themes of machines and computers having severe consequences for humanity, or that we would be outright wiped out by them in the future. One of the earliest and most famous examples of computer horror would be with the 1967 short story by Harlan Ellison, I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, which details a world taken over by a rogue AI, but that's a story for another day. The mid to late 80s actually sparked a short-lived panic called computer phobia. The term is pretty much completely gone in today's world, But back in the 80s, people were genuinely scared just to use or interact with computers. This reached a point where actual studies were being conducted just to measure how real of a threat computer phobia was. Really, all you need to take from this time period is that going into the 90s, there wasn't a fear of the internet or anything on it, but rather a fear of computers and what they could become capable of. But, as the internet began entering the mainstream, this quickly died off, and new forms of horror began to emerge. And with that, it's time we move into the dawn of the modern internet, in the 1990s. The 90s. More specifically, 1993 up to 2000, the earliest, wildest era of the internet. I wasn't around during this time, but I find it truly fascinating to look back on in regards to internet content. Although sadly, a majority of stuff from this time period is simply gone or just completely broken, since no one was thinking about or had the means to preserve anything back then. Still, what is there is cool, and it's remarkable that we still have some of these old websites and archives at all. Isn't the internet a wonderful thing? Back on track to the Bone Zone, 1993 marked the release of Mosaic, the first graphical web browser. In relation to this video, this will mark the official starting point in the timeline. And with the start of our timeline, also comes the first and longest running event on the entire thing, being alternate reality games, or ARGs. As a little bit of history, ARGs, or at least projects very similar to ARGs, have existed for decades. They started with books, television dramas, and have now evolved into their modern form. If you don't actually know what an alternate reality game is, it's basically an interactive narrative or series where audience participation can either influence events or simply push the narrative forward. We'll be going over a fair number of them throughout the timeline, so you should get the idea of what they are pretty quickly. Throughout this video, we'll be talking about ARGs that originate or mainly took place online, but none are really worth talking about until the late 90s. So this point is more of an introduction to the concept rather than an actual event. And with that, we'll move on to our next point. This point is more of a formality, and also pure speculation, being that it's likely a ton of really early internet horror is lost to time due to not being archived. And as it's lost media, I can't exactly give any examples. In reality, this point could extend throughout the whole timeline, but this is specifically for all the stuff that came super early on in internet history and never made it past the initial years.
This is not a joke. You are now cursed.
Our first real point in the timeline comes in the form of chain emails. Specifically,
Ain't no way!
This is referring to the scary
Ain't no way!
such as ones informing the receiver.
Ain't no fucking way! They're saying I was just warming up a couple of sausages because I feel like I needed some meat to eat with my salad because this is like egg. It's got egg and avocado ranch in it. Ain't no way they're saying that chain emails that say you've been hacked. You must send me your credit card information. This is internet horror? What? What? Well, give me a second. Yeah, no. Before they knew they were scams, it would have been pretty scary. Okay. I guess if this was like really early on. Fuck, I went away from it. No. But you have to understand. Like, chat, come on. What's going on, bozo? Yes, because getting emails is scary. I hate emails. I unsubscribe from everything that ever sends me an email. Outside of, like, me requesting one. Immediate unsubscribe. I don't want that shit in my email. It literally is the most annoying shit in the world. I never check them. I never once have looked at them. Not once.
Like back in the 80s. Thing like 67 short story by Harlan Ellis or anything on it, but rather a fear of complexities.
Okay. I got all my food. I have a hot dog.
Ah, the 90s. More specifically, 1993 up to 2000. The earliest, wildest era of the internet. I wasn't around during this time, but I find it truly fascinating to look back on in regards to internet content. Although sadly, a majority of stuff from this time period is simply gone or just completely broken, since no one was thinking about or had the means to preserve anything back then. Still, what is there is cool, and it's remarkable that we still have some of these old websites and archives at all. Isn't the internet a wonderful thing? Back on track to the Bone Zone, 1993 marked the release of Mosaic, the first graphical web browser. In relation to this video, this will mark the official starting point in the timeline. And with the start of our timeline, also comes the first and longest running event on the entire thing, being alternate reality games, or ARGs. As a little bit of history, ARGs, or these projects very similar to ARGs, have existed for decades. They started with books, television dramas, and have now evolved into their modern form. If you don't actually know what an alternate reality game is, it's basically an interactive narrative or series where audience participation can either influence events or simply push the narrative forward. We'll be going over a fair number of them throughout the timeline, so you should get the idea of what they are pretty quickly. Throughout this video, we'll be talking about ARGs that originate or mainly took place online, but none are really worth talking about until the late 90s. So this point is more of an introduction to the concept rather than an actual event. And with that, we'll move on to our next point. This point is more of a formality, and also pure speculation, being that it's likely a ton of really early internet horror is lost to time due to not being archived. And as it's lost media, I can't exactly give any examples. In reality, this point could extend throughout the whole timeline, but this is specifically for all the stuff that came super early on in internet history and never made it past the initial years.
Okay. Now, I get it that this guy... How big is this guy's channel? Like, this guy has 212 subs, right? But I feel like you can figure out at least one example. Go to, like, early internet horror. Or lost media horror, where people just talk about it. They don't necessarily, like, show anything. Because obviously it's lost media, but people have seen it. People have seen the early lost media horror. Like, there's got to be something where someone's like, I distinctly remember this being a thing. Like, some creepy-ass picture. I don't know.
This is not a joke. You are now cursed.
Our first real point in the timeline comes in the form of chain emails. Specifically, and obviously, this is referring to the scary ones, such as ones informing the receiver of a scary ghost that will haunt them in their sleep if they don't send it to 10 other people. Yeah, these were pretty common for a while, and interestingly enough, don't actually originate online. As a fun bit of history, one of the first chain letters was in the 1800s, asking for people to send a dime and to send the letter to 3 others. This letter created a snowball effect that led into what we saw in this entry. Sometime around the mid-2000s, chain emails started dying off, mostly because they ended up being replaced by social media posts saying similar things, like those, share this or a monster will kill you, or like for Jesus, ignore for hell Satan posts. Semi-recently, those kind of posts have also become a bit of a meme, with people making parody versions of them, saying things like this image to die instantly. And after that,
this image
these
should
kinds of
die
posts have
instantly.
pretty much died out, outside of the 50+ demographic. Now with that wrapped up, let's move on.
Me smashing the fuck out of that button.
Shock sites.
Why am
Websites created with the sole purpose of shocking uninformed viewers. Really not a hard concept to grasp. These first popped up in the mid-90s with Broaden.com, a site with the tagline, pure evil since 1996, which hosted all kinds of messed up content over its lifespan. While these sites
Pure evil since 1996. Just like my sister. Somebody clip that really quick. I need it for a bit. No, you know what? I'll clip it.
pure evil since 1996, which hosted all kinds of messed up content over its lifespan. While these sites
Pure evil since 1996. Just like my sister. Beautiful. That's getting sent to the family group chat. All right. For context, my sister's birthday is in 1996.
Necessarily horror, they are without a doubt disturbing, especially back in the day when shock content wasn't as widespread on the internet. I guess it can be argued that these websites are scary in a way things like ARGs simply can't be, being that the majority of content on shock sites is completely real.
Good one.
These sites peaked back in the 90s and 2000s, but lost a lot of relevance.
Thanks
once
for
more
boosting my
centralized
ego.
Platforms came
I
into play,
appreciate it,
like
Bozo.
Reddit, LiveLeak, and even YouTube, but also just due to a loss of interest. A handful of these still remain, but I'd recommend steering clear of them.
Yeah, agreed. Like, the one that I heard of that was really fucked up. Not even, it wasn't even +2. +2, hell yeah. Now, the only one I can think of, Blair Witch, oh my god. Shock sites. One that's still up today, do not go to this website. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's called, Run the Gauntlet. And effectively, there are different levels of the gauntlet, right? But each level of the gauntlet is its own, like, shock film. Its own, like, little shock video. And for those of you who know about the mason jar incident, that's on there. There's an entire video of, like, people getting shit shoved under their, like, people shoving stuff under their toenails. It's terrible. So I ran the whole gauntlet before. I chose a horrible time to do it. I was out to dinner with my parents. My dad brought it up to me. The worst fucking thing I could have done. We went to a steakhouse. I couldn't eat. I literally could not eat. Anyways.
The Blair Witch Project is a 1999 film which was presented as real found footage of a group of people in the woods that got murked by the Blair Witch. This point isn't about the film, but rather the online marketing campaign they did, which very closely resembles modern-day ARGs, and pioneered several concepts in viral marketing. The producers set up a whole webpage, which sadly went down just over a year ago, that expanded the story of the film and set up extra backstory, all while continuing to act as if it was a completely non-fictional thing. There was even some bonus video content on there, which seems to be completely lost, even when using the Wayback Machine to view the website, so sadly I can't show any of the cool footage from it. The site talks about how the three main characters disappeared, the mythology of the Blair Witch, and still contains some bonus images for fans of the film, although as I said, any video content is seemingly gone forever. Their effort to portray the film as real events seemed to have paid off a little, with the film bringing in $250 million on a $60,000 budget. But
fucking imagine that shit, though. You make a movie with a marketing campaign, you spend $60,000. Boy just said they made $250 million. $250 million on a budget of $60,000. To open up a small business in America, the standard business loan to set up a physical business is $100,000. Is like 150,000, maybe 100,000 if you're doing like a fucking froyo shop. But imagine you put $60,000 into a movie focus on like marketing in an emerging internet, and you get $250 million. The thing I never got about the Blair Witch Panic when it came out is that the existence of the movie itself is a contradiction to believing it's real. But at the time, the idea of a found footage video, like movie, was not a big thing yet. The Blair Witch Project was like the OG found footage. The OG, the original. Like there were no other found footage movies yet. A completely new format. It was like it was like 2012. Y'all remember that movie? We love a good end of the world horror movie, right? That was a very similar concept where like a lot of people like it linked up with the Mayan calendar thing. It released in like 2011, 2012. And it ended up making people think like, oh shit, this is going to be what happens. This could be what happens. And it led to that panic.
Enough about cash money. There's a major disaster approaching, and we need to talk about it.
What did you say? No, not that part. The fact that someone found and went into the murder house and found the tape means that there couldn't have been a witch to haunt it. Well, kind of. Because typically when it came to hauntings and like horror stuff, the daytime provided like all that shit happens at night, right? And to assume that, oh my fucking God, you scared me. What's up? Yes. My parent, oh, 1 second. My roommate just got home, scared the shit out of me. I'll be right back. My roommate scared the shit out of me. My dog didn't bark. My dog didn't bark. Like, normally he freaks out when people come home. Just didn't give a shit. But yeah, the daytime typically protects you from, like, hauntings. That was, like, the big stipulation. Like, you're safe in the daytime. But at night, ooh, at night, you're cooked. Anyways, Y2K, though?
The world is gonna end at midnight tonight. Y2K.
Y2K? What are you selling, chicken or sex jelly?
Now this one is almost cheating because it really is an internet horror, but it...
What are you selling, chicken or sex jelly? Was that the fucking KY jelly? Is that what he was referencing there? God, I wish when that show used... I miss when that show used to be funnier.
It has everything to do with computers, so I'm counting it, but we'll go over it quickly. So basically, back when they were making computers, they didn't think ahead too much, as most dating systems were programmed to only really use the last 2 digits of a year, so 1900 was indistinguishable from 2000. This sounds small, but in reality the issue could have taken down several infrastructures, but as there were years to fix it, nothing really happened at the turn of the millennium. This didn't stop people from completely freaking out, stockpiling food, guns, and other survival equipment, essentially preparing for an apocalyptic event. Seeing as we don't live in the apocalypse yet, I think you know how this one ended. And as the world has moved out of the 1990s, so will this video.
Bill Clinton. They really brought up the fucking picture of the video of Bill Clinton and George W. Bush walking together. That's fucking crazy. I remember 1999. It was quite a good year. You weren't. You were born in like 2005, bitch. Like, don't even talk to me. Oh my god.
Moving into the 2000s.
Oh, I knew that one. The car. I saw that one for real.
This is where the internet began to truly hit its stride and put us on the path towards the absolute hellscape we live in today. This era saw the creation and meteoric rise of various social media sites like Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and plenty more. This is also when internet horror began to truly boom, thanks mostly to YouTube, but also just due to the ever-increasing amount of people with access to the internet. I mean, by 2006, 70% of adults use the internet, and when compared to the numbers in the 90s, it's night and day. There were simply more people online making content than ever before. This era houses a few of the most important, iconic, and influential creations in the history of internet horror. The first we'll be going over is one I'm certain 99% of people have heard of, being creepypastas.
Yes! Wait. Did that say it's
Creepypasta
ended?
history of internet horror, and the first we'll be going over is one I'm certain 99% of people have heard of, being creepypastas.
It didn't end. Creepypastas are still a thing. I mean, I guess if he's talking about like them falling out of relevance, like I don't know, like 2015, I feel like it like peaked out and like it's been less since then, but like not that much.
Creepypastas. We all know them, we all love or hate them. If you're part of the 1% of people watching this who have somehow never heard of creepypastas, the most basic description is that they are essentially internet horror stories. They come in all different shapes and sizes, from things like lost episodes of TV shows, psycho killers, paranormal occurrences, and much, much more. It's arguable that creepypastas...
Okay. Can you name any big one from like the last 5 years? The Backrooms. The Backrooms has only developed. SCP is a creepypasta. Both of those started as creepypastas. Both the Backrooms and SCP. And there's been a massive Backrooms craze recently. Massive. There's actually a game coming out really soon called Infinitum. This is one I plan on playing. It is an open world. It's an open world Backrooms world. Procedurally generated. This one's not even released yet. This is recently updated. This is Sunday, June 9th, 2024. So, SCP's been around forever? Yes, but it has remained relevant is the thing. And the backrooms was thing has been around about the same amount as SCP, or at least somewhat stemmed from it. So
far back as the 90s and some of those chain emails we talked about, but generally the first real agreed upon creepypasta was with 2001's Ted the Caver, which was posted on Angelfire. The story was written as a blog, which detailed two friends who discovered a small opening in a cave, which led to another cave on the other side. Over a period of time, the two chip away at the hole to make it big enough for them both to enter through. Throughout their time doing this, they encounter a variety of odd occurrences, and when the hole was finally big enough, Ted updated the blog to say that the two would be going through it, and that was the final update to the site. While Ted the Caver was the first, it was far from the most popular, as multiple creepypasta juggernauts came out in the years following, such as Jeff the Killer, The Rake. This
is kind of like the shit I'm talking about. I'm not even kidding. This kind of that fucks with me.
Killer, The Rake.
This one freaks me out. It's like the Uncanny Valley. Y'all heard of that? Uncanny Valley? What if my fucking flavor of autism is just like weird horror? Like fuck. Uncanny Valley shit freaks me the fuck out. Freaks me the fuck out. I cannot stand it. I mean, I love it, and I love being like spooked by like a movie. But this shit freaks me out.
The Russian sleep.
Yup. Vaguely human, but you know it's not.
Experiment and the Smile Dog.
Like chat for real. Be so fucking for real right now.
Overall, creepypastas have had a huge influence over internet horror for a long while, but after peaking in 2014, they've been on a continual and pretty hard decline. I think the main factor in this was simply oversaturation, as well as people kind of getting over scary stories. It was around the time of their decline that those Reddit, true scary stories, no sleep.
Russian sleep genuinely made me lose sleep.
Creepypastas aren't exactly dead nowadays, as there's still an audience for them.
I don't necessarily remember the Russian sleep experiment. I vaguely remember it. I remember there was one where people I remember one specific creepypasta. Oh my god. When I think about this one, I legitimately get freaked the fuck out. It was a creepypasta where they basically took a bunch of these terminally ill patients or something like that. And decided to like basically they volunteered to have all of their senses stripped away. They couldn't taste, they couldn't see, they couldn't hear, and they couldn't smell. They were completely numbed to all senses. And what they basically had to do was they would disconnect the body from... None of these make me scared. Probably a testament to my sick and twisted mind. Fair. Same, but in a different way. Yeah, that's Twitch TOS. But yeah, no, it's one of those things where it's like there were like different points where they were like, oh yeah, like there was a point where one just started like they started clawing their eyes out, even though they couldn't see. They started clawing their eyes out because they couldn't feel pain. They had their pain receptors turned off or something like that. I don't know what the whole gist was, but like they were completely numbed to all senses. And so you fear one thing, and that's the ability. You fear one thing, and that's the ability, losing the ability to gamble. I'm only scared of real things like dying alone. Hey, you know what? That's based. But like, there was a point where they said the person without their eyes looked at one of the nurses and basically looked without any senses, was able to turn their head, was sat up without being able to feel as if they're sitting up, turned, looked directly at the nurse and said, "God is not here to help you now," and then fell over and died. I'm in your walls. You're never alone. My green walls? Those ones? That wall right there? Hey, how are you healing up? God damn you. Whatever. I'm doing good, Mary. How are you doing, girly? Did you eat well? Are you on your way home yet? My tonsils hurt. Like right here. Right here. Eat good, leave soon. Yeah. Hey, make sure you're telling me how your trip's going. Make sure you're updating me. And also, oh, I do have something to text you about, I think. I do. I'll text and drive? No, not allowed. Well, I will literally just get into a voice call with you if you want to talk. Like, I'm not afraid to just sit here and talk to you. Like, I don't mind. But if you get bored. But we're watching a video on internet horror. Comprehensive history of internet horror. It was in my recommended. Okay. Smile. Heart. Be safe. Be safe, bitch. I swear to God. Are you taking my... Oh, quick question. Are you taking my bracelet with you? Are you going to have it? Or is Luna mailing it to me? I don't know. You should... Up to you. Anyways.
But they've fallen quite a ways from their 2014 dominance over internet horror, and I honestly don't think they'll ever reach anywhere near those heights again. But with that, we need to back up a bit on the timeline, moving on to one of the first real big internet ARGs.
The Beast?
The Beast was an ARG developed in 2001 by Microsoft in order to promote the film AI, Artificial Intelligence. Due to having Microsoft money, the ARG was able to do things that even modern-day ARGs aren't able to do, like having 50 different websites set up, having clues happen at live events and over advertisements, and keeping it all going for months. Since it was in general just a big ad campaign for the movie, I won't go into plot details, but it needs to be stated that this ARG was one of the most influential ARGs ever created. And if you're wondering why Microsoft was behind it and not the film's producers, the ARG was actually supposed to lead into a series of games exclusive to Xbox, but I don't think this ever came to fruition.
I never heard of that one. Oh, here we go.
In the mid-2000s, a trend started.
Microsoft been on the AI ship for 20 damn years. 20 years, damn. Yeah.
Various games, videos, and animations would end in a screamer. This sparked a wave of videos where unsuspecting viewers would get jump scared and would do wacky things like punch the monitor, jump out of their chair, or just scream. The two biggest examples would be the Scary Maze game, which released in 2004, which incentivized players to get up close to their monitors for higher precision, and then jump scared you, as well as the video Ghost Car from 2005, which is a car driving down a road.
I got by this one when it was new. Like back in like 2008, like 2007. What just happened? Here we are. This one got me really bad. I freaked out. I never got by one of these afterwards.
The Ghost Car video was actually the very first screamer ever uploaded to YouTube, and is overall one of the oldest videos on the entire website. Overall, this was a very innocent and simple trend in internet horror, and it simply died out after a few years, as other things became more relevant.
Tell me that wouldn't have gotten you back in like fucking 2007. 2007, something like that.
The early days of YouTube were an explosion of creativity coming from various creators across the globe. It was a new and innovative platform to let anyone post whatever they wanted. And for a ton of people, that meant posting their own horror content. Really, there's so many unique and iconic videos from this period that it would be near impossible to list them all. And sadly, Many have also been deleted or removed. Some of the heavy hitters of the era would be things like...
It got me, but I was 6 when I first saw it. Damn. Yeah, let's see. 2007, I would have been 7. 6 to 7.
Salad Fingers, I Feel Fantastic.
Salad Fingers.
Username 666,
Yep.
Agamemnon Counterpart.
Yep. Agamemnon Counterpart. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, this is a fucking nostalgia trip for me too. This is a hardcore nostalgia trip for me as well. Because this like internet horror was my hyperfixation for years. Like literally, I'm 24 years old. I can give you an entire decade of my life that I know for a fact I was locked in on this shit. I have a very distinct memory. So my dad used to work for this place in a larger city, and while we were out of school, we would go hang out with him because we would like to help him. And so he would set up internet for places. He would set up like the Ethernet cables across the ceiling, and I know how to help him. But there were some times where I couldn't help him. And so when I would be there, like doing stuff, I would just have a pair of headphones. I would have my little iPod Touch or iPod, my little iPod or like an iPad or something like that back when they were new. Because my dad was a big tech nerd, and I would literally just watch creepypasta videos. And I was out in the fucking parking lot of this place that he was working in, with the car on, just chilling. It was like a nice, cool autumn day. I just had the windows kind of cracked a little bit. I was just chilling in the car, enjoying the weather, watching some YouTube videos. I was big chilling. I had a bunch of snacks with me. And I was like, all right, got you some snacks. I'm going to be back every 2 hours or so. We went out to lunch today. It was super great. My parents are awesome. I love them. But he stuck me in there with some snacks and some water. He was like, chill out here for a few hours. If you get bored, come inside and you can like help me with something. I'm like, okay. But at the time I was able to sit there and look at my phone for like hours on end, just doing nothing else but that. And if I got bored, I would play like Minecraft Pocket Edition, but like the free version where it deleted your world after you were done. Anyone remember that one? But I was watching this video, and it was just like the most like creepy fucking thing. I remember just being so scared I didn't want to get out of my car because I was certain that I was going to end up in the situation of that character. It's fucking creepy.
Brianna Mordegard Glesgorv.
Yep.
Dining room where there is nothing. Hi Walter, I got a new girlfriend today. And many, many more. While not many of these are all that relevant today, at the very least they're remembered very fondly.
Yeah. Yeah. Like they didn't age well, but they didn't age well, but they were great at the time. 4chan coins the term creepypasta. Okay.
Timeline. Sometime around 2006 or 7 is when the term creepypasta was officially coined by 4chan. I guess now would also be a good time to mention that the name originates from creepy being combined with copypasta, which essentially just means copy-pasted stories.
Really? That's where it came from? That makes so much sense. I didn't know that.
But it is important to mention that these stories really didn't have an actual name until the mid-2000s.
Here we are. SCP. Notice it's in the middle of... Notice that the creepypasta and SCP overlap really hard here. Because SCP is effectively a creepypasta.
2007 on 4chan's X Paranormal board, the SCP Foundation is one of the longest lasting entries on the entire timeline. After its initial story on 4chan, a standalone wiki was created in 2008, which houses all current SCP stories. As for what it actually is, the SCP Foundation is a made-up organization that houses all kinds of anomalous, unexplainable, or extremely dangerous artifacts, beings, and objects. It isn't limited to that though, as there are a ton of completely original SCPs that would require entire explanations for you just to get a grasp on them. SCP entries are broken down into 4 main classes. First off is safe SCPs. These are anomalous entities that are otherwise completely harmless. Next is Euclid SCPs, which require a decent effort to maintain, and could pose a risk if let loose. Thirdly is the most dangerous of the bunch, being Keter SCPs. These are potentially world-ending entities that need to be contained at all costs. If they can't be contained, then they need to be suppressed or neutralized. And if they are neutralized, they would fall under the neutralized class. With the rundown out of the way, let's go over a few of the notable stories. SCP-173 is one
Yep.
of, if not
Peanut.
the most iconic SCP ever created. In short, it's a statue that will attempt to kill anything, if no one has direct line of sight with it, and it does so incredibly fast. Doing as little as blinking, even for a quarter of a second, would likely result in your neck being snapped. SCP-087 is simply an infinite staircase, which has a few anomalous properties within it, such as a face which frequently appears from the shadows. Descending the staircase often drives people mad. SCP-682 is basically just an invincible alligator. SCP-096 is a being that's known as the Shy Guy. Looking at its face, whether in person, in a photo, over video, or by any other means, for any amount of time, seeing any amount of it, will cause it to beeline towards you, and it will not stop until you're dead. SCP-3008 is an infinitely spanning IKEA. So
That's one of my favorite ones. That's one of my favorite SCPs. It's just an infinite IKEA.
just a regular IKEA. And to wrap it up, SCP-049 is a plague doctor who cures patients by essentially turning them into zombies. While the stories did gain some amount of traction near the start, I have my doubts that SCP would be anywhere near as big as it is today without the games. You see, since SCP is an amalgamation of community projects and stories, everything is completely Creative Commons, meaning anyone can make anything with the name. In 2012, someone had the bright idea to make a game out of it, with the release of SCP-087. The game is essentially a playable version of what I described earlier. You descend an infinite staircase, occasionally running into creepy faces. This game actually massively took off within the tuber Let's Play genre, which we'll be talking about later, and propelled the franchise to new heights. This wasn't the only release in 2012, however, as the absolute heavy hitter
This is so nostalgic for me.
Just after, which is still popular even today. The game had you playing as a D-class personnel, which are death row prisoners sent in to do the dirty work. After a containment breach, you're left to escape an SCP facility, which is full of various SCP entities which could help you, or more likely try to kill you. The years after release saw plenty of updates to the game, but surprisingly, no other major SCP games were released for a few years until 2017's SCP Secret Laboratory, which is basically an expanded multiplayer version of Containment Breach. There's been a decent selection of other games released since 2012, alongside those mentioned before, but these are the ones I find to be responsible for massive periods of growth for the franchise.
I still play this game occasionally.
The SCP Foundation. It's a massive effort with a thriving community, with people writing new stories.
It's an amazing community. The SCP community is probably like one of my favorite communities to just interact with in general. Like, I don't know, they kind of just tend to be chill. They're more so focused on horror stuff. There's also a lot of trans people in it, which is like kind of cool. I mean, at least from my, I've had limited interaction, but all of my interactions so far have been great. Who knows? Maybe they're just fucking all crazy. I'm not sure.
Audio commentaries and full video adaptations of existing stories. If you're an aspiring writer or storyteller, anyone is free to join the fun and create a brand new story for the website. So look into that if you've somehow never heard of the Foundation. With that said and done, I don't want to spend too much time on this one, so we'll be moving on.
Slenderman 2008, baby. Slenderman should be on Creepypasta, though, realistically. I'm going to be honest.
Sai, what do you know? Heavy hitter after heavy hitter. 2009 saw the initial creation of the Slenderman, one of Internet Horror's definitive mascots. The creation came about when the Something Awful forums held a small competition asking for participants to create a scary modern myth. Eric Knudsen, under the pseudonym Victor Surge on the website, posted 2 Photoshop pictures of a figure lurking behind groups of children, the caption stating that they'd gone missing. Of course, we now know this figure to be the Slenderman. We'll be coming back to the Slenderman, as his story does not end here. But no major traction came to the character until
he's a
2
slender
specific
man.
events occurred, one of which is the next point. Marble Hornets was an ARG created in 2009 that was heavily inspired by the Slenderman mythos. Posted just 10 days after the initial images dropped on Something Awful, Marble Hornets is a multi-season long ARG that even had a movie produced, and because of that, it would take way too long to recap it here. It's important to note that the Slenderman in this series was their own take on the character, even having a different name, going by the Operator. The series lasted for 113 entries and side videos, with the
One sec, chat. I gotta check something really quick. I just got a video from a friend of mine that I was on this trip with, and she's still there with like two of the other people. Damn, I miss those fuckers. I miss those fuckers so much.
Channel
So
having
fucking
over
much.
114 million views as of
Ugh.
recording. Overall, this series pushed homemade ARGs into the mainstream and inspired dozens of other projects in the years following, making it one of the most influential ARGs ever created. This is all on top of the project boosting the Slenderman's popularity, but the character didn't truly peak until a bit into the future. With that said, we'll wrap back to that later on.
They really gotta have the second Obama term in here. His kids are far too old for this to be first term. This is 2012. This is in 2008. That's open. That's Gundam style. What the fuck? Miss you. I miss you too.
Moving on to the final
What was
era
that?
we'll be
I
covering.
didn't
The
recognize that one.
2010s are certainly a fun period of horror to look back on. Like the 2000s, a ton of varied and unique content arose during this period, with some of it becoming absolutely massive, and some even becoming truly mainstream. This is the first era where you're going to see things become actual movies, merchandise, or proper franchises. This era has spawned a lot of mainstay
2010s. If they bring up Grave Encounters,
names, but also a bunch of fads that would be impossible to mention, as there's just so much to
how much did Grave Encounters make? The budget was 120,000, made 5.4 mil. I can't even believe that.
the entire thing being
Insane.
alternate reality games, or ARGs.
Actual entry one. What?
10s are
There
certainly
we
a
go.
fun period of horror to look back on. Like the 2000s, a ton of varied and unique content arose during this period, with some of it becoming absolutely massive, and some even becoming truly mainstream. This is the first era where you're going to see things become actual movies, merchandise, or proper franchises. This era has spawned a lot of mainstay names, but also a bunch of fads that would be impossible to mention. As there's just so much to talk about already, this section will primarily be focusing on big events during this time period. In the future, I may make a deep dive video on each era, going into detail with more obscure topics, but for now we'll start with a seemingly small, but in reality pretty big event. We're going to start off the 2010s with a bit of a silly entry, but it's also too iconic not to mention. In August of 2010, an odd post popped up on 4chan's Xboard with the story that a strange figure appeared in their Minecraft world, which stalked them and placed various different objects and structures around the world. In the post, they included the image shown here, which is the first depiction of Herobrine, and the look that's stuck around since then, being a stock Minecraft Steve with the exception of having pure white eyes. Also included in the post was the author saying that they had tried to post this on the Minecraft forums, but they were deleted by a user named Herobrine. When the author looked into this, he said it was the name of Notch's dead brother, and from there, the story becomes increasingly bullshit as Notch never even had a brother. With that said though, stories over the coming year about encounters with the figure propelled him to such heights that the developers of Minecraft, Mojang, included various references and straight up mentions of the character, with an iconic long-running gag in the patch notes being that they removed Herobrine, although sadly, they seem to have retired this joke in more recent updates, marking the end of an era. This one is a bit of an unconventional point, as there's no real beginning to Let's Plays, as technically, they've been around for as long as people had access to recording their screens, which includes going as far back as VHS tapes. Along with that, these aren't really an original form of content or like a thing, but rather a medium in which a lot of horror projects got exposed to the masses. This is really on here to highlight the massive boom of Let's Plays during the early 2010s, along with their fall off over time. Now this doesn't just include horror, although that was a significant percentage of them, as this was likely boosted by the rise of Minecraft during the same time period, along with other games in general. With that
Was that the bite of 87?
said, it can't be overstated how massive Let's Plays were in introducing a lot of people.
I like how in that scene they all just freeze. They all just freeze. They're like, huh? 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 Oh.
With that said, it can't be overstated how massive Let's Plays were in introducing
Is
a
that the
lot
bite
of
of
people to things like
87?
horror games. Yes, let's be real, Let's Plays were primarily aimed at kids. A couple of the major players that gained their followings in this era were channels like PewDiePie and Markiplier, although there were many, many more than that.
It was so quiet, but you can hear it. It was so quiet, but you can hear it. Wait, we'll do it one more time.
In this era were channels like PewDiePie and Markiplier, although there were many, many more than that, with many still going strong today.
I love it.
and
I
many more
fucking
than
love
that
it.
Fading into
I love it
obscurity.
so much. DHMIS.
In July of 2011.
Oh, don't hug me, I'm
a strange,
scared.
Creepy short film was uploaded to YouTube named Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. The short was about a group of puppets being encouraged to be creative, but are then scolded when they don't get creative properly. I'd recommend giving it a watch, as it's only 3 minutes long, and it spawned a whole series, including a TV show. This is on here, as it's an example of an internet-originating series transcending the platform, and managing to make it onto actual TV, which is a rarity on YouTube.
Speaking of which, why isn't the annoying orange on here? I feel like that's got to be internet horror. Annoying orange has to be internet horror, yeah? Slender popularity. I remember there was like a variety of games that spurred out of like Slenderman. I like that whole idea.
We talked earlier about the rise of Let's Plays. Well, here's a game that pretty much created what I like to call tuber horror, which are games specifically appealing to Let's Players and YouTubers. Slender the 8 Pages was a massive freeware indie game that came out of nowhere, which gained most of its popularity through the hundreds of YouTubers who covered it. The game is simple, having you explore a dark forest in search of 8 pages, with the Slender Man stalking you and progressively aggressing relative to the amount of papers you've collected. It really is that simple, but that didn't mean it wasn't effective. The game was so popular on release that
I remember playing this game, and I remember it being so difficult because it like the Slenderman gets more aggressive as you collect more pages. So I would collect like 3 off the bat, and then I would die before I get like the 4th, sometimes the 5th page. I never was that good at that game.
the host website crashed due to the traffic being driven to it. This popularity definitely didn't go unnoticed, as over the years, hundreds, potentially...
Another thing that was so scary about this game is you have the whole screen, but look how dark it is. You can barely see shit. You can't see anything.
Thousands of Slender clones have been released, with most being pretty garbage asset flips.
True.
These are still released to this day, and while they've certainly slowed down, I don't think there ever will be an end, since it's such a basic concept and so easy to do. It's also worth mentioning the game Slender the Arrival, which is essentially a take on...
Quick side note. Is the background Fly Me to the Moon? Listen to the music.
Certainly slowed down, I don't think there ever will be an end, since it's such a basic concept and so easy to do.
Let me
it's also worth mentioning the game Slender the
among the
Arrival,
stars.
which is essentially a take on the 8 Pages by a full studio, which has more of an actual plot, more locations, and more enemies. It isn't very good, and clearly was just trying to cash in on the hype, but still, worth mentioning.
It is.
It made quite a splash
It literally
online when
is.
it was dropped, as obviously...
I love the fact that he's doing this all in like the border of like VLC Media Player. It's so 2010s coded.
Let's Players flocked to it, but it was pretty much forgotten about within a few months. To end off the Slender...
Oh, I get it. He's like changing it with the eras. Like 2010s was Windows 7. That's late 2010s would be Windows 10.
Talk fully for this video.
This is Windows 10.
2014 pretty much marked the soft end of Slender. People continue to make things past it, sure, but after 2014, the mood around Slenderman was different. This sounds like it's leading into a joke, but it isn't, as in 2014, 2 girls baited another girl into the woods and attempted to take her life, saying that it was to appease the Slenderman. If you've somehow avoided the case, I can at least tell you that the girl did survive and made a full recovery, and that's all I want to go into detail on with this part, and from that, I hope you can see why after 2014, the series faded away. With that said, though, 2014 marked the release of another game, which
my tonsils
kind
are
of blew
so
this one out of the
swollen,
water, but
like horribly
we'll get to that
swollen.
in just a bit.
Don't hit me with the fucking Better Call Saul theme right now. Don't hit me with the fucking Better Call Saul theme. This guy gets a fucking, yeah, I'm subbing to this guy. I'm subscribing to this guy.
Back in 2012, when creepypastas were at a high point, a little story called Sonic.exe dropped onto the wiki. The story was about a guy named Tom, a big fan of Sonic the Hedgehog, receiving a creepy haunted CD from his buddy, who told him to destroy it. He ignores his plea for destruction like a true Sigma, and plays the game contained on the CD, Sonic.exe. In the game, everything is hellish, with satanic imagery and blood all over the place. He plays a bunch of classic Sonic characters who are all killed by the iconic Hog, but with hyper-realistic, bloody eyes. The story spawned a few sequels, but was ultimately removed from the Creepypasta wiki for being laughably bad. The author of the story had a calm and rational response to the situation, saying, "I deeply regret to inform you all that I received some bad news. The admins of the Creepypasta wiki have finally decided to delete Sonic.exe off of the wiki, on the grounds that it was badly written and had too many cliches, and was a bad example of what should be a creepypasta. Bull freaking horse shit."
Bull friggin' horse poop.
As you can see, I am furious with the fact that my masterpiece, which has won the hearts of millions and has made a massive impact on the internet, is being brought down by a bunch of jealous, arrogant, furry haters.
Furry haters? Hey, yo.
But that does not mean I am just going to sit down and take this lightly.
Why does he sound like an old Russian?
Nope. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. They have been messing with the bull, and now they've called out the horns. Listen, everyone. I need your help with this. We are at war here.
We're at war.
I want every Sonic.exe fan who is reading this to get the word out. I want you to tell every other Sonic.exe fan out there, every fanatic, every artist, every follower of my creation about this. Tell your friends who are also Sonic.exe fans if they have to. Tell them that we have to keep the spirit of Sonic.exe alive. Make more fan art, make more videos, block the haters, praise Sonic.exe like
Praise Sonic.exe.
you never have before. Build websites dedicated to his greatness. Whatever you gotta do to keep him alive and strong, just do it. The deletion of Sonic.exe from the wiki is but a minor cut on our flower of greatness, my friends. And that cut has done nothing but further the spreading. And we are the pollen of this flower. We need to prepare for our victory over the haters. The haters need to bleed for their crimes. Rejoice, my fellow Sonic.exe fans.
This is what I imagine happens when you tell grandma that her food isn't that good. Like, if you ever tell your grandma that you don't like her food, I imagine that she just bleeds you out and kills you. That or she cries. And like, who the fuck are you to make your grandmother cry? Just don't tell a Sonic.exe fan that Sonic.exe is shit.
Our glorious little hellspawn shall have the laugh yet. This will be his ultimate victory. The absolute subjugation of the internet itself. Alongside the story came a few games, all of
His voice sounds so hoarse after that.
which were adaptations of the story with varying degrees of polish and accuracy. These were also
Polish and accuracy.
big
Anyways.
in the tuber sphere during the time. One odd thing, a very, very odd thing I came across while digging up some history for this one, is that nearly 10 years after the original creation of the story, searching the term Sonic.exe peaked to a number which is magnitudes higher than what it was around its initial posting. Now, I'm fairly certain this is due to Friday Night Funkin' mods using the character, as they garner millions of views, but I find it crazy that it surpassed its initial fame nearly 10 years later, while being such a shit story. I guess it really comes down to character design, as evil, black-eyed Sonic is just edgy enough where people are into it. But that's enough trash talk. It's time to continue.
FNAF? Oh, we're getting into it now. We're getting
8th,
into the fucking meat and potatoes of this shit.
A small indie game drops online called Five Nights at Freddy's. The game is about a security guard watching over a pizza place which houses 4 animatronics that move around at night. Within months, it's the biggest name in the gaming space. It has continued to remain relevant over the years, with the most recent release being in December of 2021, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. It'd be hard to do this one justice, not only because it's such a big franchise, but because it also has a huge fan base that creates original content such as games, stories, and videos. And on top of this, there's books, an upcoming movie, upcoming games, and overall the plot is a very convoluted mess. They keep this one relatively short, since, I mean, come on, everyone knows at least the basics of FNAF. The series has a bunch of games, all with a very similar gameplay style. Usually, you're sat in a location, unable to move as haunted animatronics come to kill you. The only ones that drastically change this up are Security Breach, which is a free-roam take on the series, Five Nights at Freddy's World, which was a weird JRPG self-aware parody of the series, and Pizzeria Simulator, which on top of the usual gameplay, has a management simulator. The real results of Five Nights at Freddy's popularity, though, was lighting the fuse for an indie horror explosion. Over the next few years, a ton of games came and went trying to match the same marketability and appeal that FNAF had, with none being able to capture that same mass audience. These range from garbage tuber horror games to actually decent, fun little horror games. I'm not going to name any names because I don't want to call anything out on here, but if you just take a look at indie horror games that were released post Five Nights at Freddy's, it's pretty obvious which ones were trying to appeal to the same demographic. Popularity-wise, nothing has been such a viral phenomenon except for maybe something like Among Us.
I need a cough drop. Yeah, I didn't think about the fact that I have to talk for 3.5 hours. I was probably going to cut my stream a little short because I am sick. So
but that's not really a horror game.
I have I either have really bad like something going on with my throat, or I have a uveitis, which I would have caught from someone else that I know. I'm not exactly sure what it is. It's kind of minor, but it makes talking a lot really suck.
With that said, though, the series can't last forever, and I suspect that after the movie releases, it'll either rejuvenate the series for a few years, or bomb and leave the franchise in ruin. That's not really a horror game. With that said, though, the series can't last forever, and I suspect that after the movie releases, it'll either rejuvenate the series for a few years, or bomb and leave the franchise in ruin.
The movie did really well. Honestly, I saw the FNAF movie. It was one of the few movies in this world that I actually went to go see twice. One of the few movies I actually went to go see twice. And part of it's because I love Matthew Lillard. I've loved him since I saw him in the Scooby-Doo movie. I loved him, and when I ended up seeing Hackers a few weeks ago, amazing movie. That was one of his earlier eras of movies. And then in the FNAF movie, he was awesome as well.
Only time will tell on that front, and we're just going to have to wait and see. Oh, and also the creator got ratioed for donating to right-wing politicians, and the backlash caused him to quit the franchise.
We had a good thing, you stupid son of a bitch.
Wait, he did?
Got ratioed for donating to right-wing politicians, and the backlash caused him to quit the franchise.
Really? Did Scott Cawthon do that? Damn. Damn. That's so fucking unfortunate.
Not a good thing, you stupid son of a bitch.
Unfriended? Was this that movie where it was like the Skype call? Was this that Skype call movie where they were all in the fucking, like they're on the computer screen, right? And there's like fucking like 6 of them, and they're like bam, 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 like 9 of them, and they all slowly start dying because they kick someone out of the friend group or something like that, and they like something like, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I remember seeing commercials for this movie. I never ended up watching it.
Keeping this one short, in April 2015, the movie Unfriended released, which was
fucking Skype. Walter, put your dick away, Walter. Walter, you're on the Skype call. You forgot your dick. Come on, man. You forgot your camera was on in the Skype call, man. Walter, put your dick away, Walter. Put your dick away, Walter. Sorry. My chat was not working. Ain't no way my chat just stopped working like that. There it is. I fixed it.
Was a movie that entirely took place on a computer screen. The movie was about a haunted group of friends that are in a Skype call as different spooky things happen to them online and also in real life. The movie sucks. Don't watch it. It's just worth mentioning because it's a mainstream Hollywood.
Maybe that's why I never ended up watching it. It was because it was ass. That would check. Because normally, like, I'll wait to hear how good movies are. And if I hear that they're, like, terrible, I just don't watch them. There we go.
It would take on internet horror. It had a sequel, too, and it actually got better reviews than the...
Wait a minute. That's the brother. That's Saul Goodman's brother.
First, but I don't actually know anything about it, nor do I care. So we're gonna move on.
Dark web content was it before that? I could have sworn dark web content was way earlier than like late 2010s.
We're gonna move on.
Like mid 20. Really? Are you really saying it didn't really become a thing until like 2016? Is that a real thing? Like it was 2016 before that even came out? That's fucking crazy. That's actually insane to me.
I don't really have
no
a
way
point for this one, but around the mid-20s.
It was like snuff films. If you guys know what that is. Red Room tapes. I got so into this shit. I was so fucking into this shit. Like horror shit. Oh my god. I remember I even got I even got Tor. I got Tor at some point. And I just like poked around for a little bit. Just for the thrill of it. I didn't end up finding too much. Primarily because you had to go to like fucking 4chan pages. And 4chan's really fucking cursed to try and navigate if you don't know what you're doing. And I was like 15. I was into the dark web shit before it caught fire. So like, that's why I think I might be thinking. Because I was like at least like 12, 13. But like, for those of you who don't know what Tor is an acronym that means the onion router. And the onion router was a dark web browser. So for those of you who don't know, on your normal everyday browser, like on Google Chrome, Safari, Opera GX, Mozilla Firefox, Internet Explorer, they are linked to effectively the World Wide Web. And that is a giant, like to my knowledge, is a giant centralized database that is effectively openly moderated, right? And most websites have to adhere to a certain code of conduct, right? Which is why you don't have websites, like you can't have a website where you just show people being murdered. You can't have a website where you sell illicit drugs. You can't have a website where you're openly performing illegal actions, which is why you don't see like terrible videos all the time on YouTube. And those that you do see are quickly taken down. Because in order for them to be legal websites, they have to exist within the framework of the World Wide Web. Like the HTTPS, I think is what it is. But on the dark web, you're not connecting to addresses. So like the address will send you to a link, right? Which is how the HTTPS system, the World Wide Web system works. It's like you're effectively sending a signal to a computer and the signal's coming back to you, which is why like you have loading screens, right? Because you send a request for that data and it comes back. Now with the Onion router, you basically take out those middlemen, right? The middle people, the middle routers, right? And you can request. Sorry, I'm chomping on my my lozenge, my cough drop time. But like instead of that, like you're connecting directly to a server. Like you're connecting to an independent set of servers. Like, and for those of you who heard of the Silk Road was a huge thing. And for a while, it was a giant interconnected web of websites, of servers that like when one was taken down, a new one would come up and they sold illicit drugs on there. And so effectively, like, you can access that website through the dark web, but it was really difficult to get there in the first place because it was very difficult to get access to it because you would have to dig like really, really far. And I know how deep because I like, just out of curiosity, I poked around for a while and I found some really it's not that difficult to find like some fucked up stuff. And like on there, they have stuff that I can't talk about on Twitch. But like the Onion router, I'm sure he's going to talk about that because that was the most famous, like, Tor was the most famous, deep dark web browser. But you can even look up icebergs of like the dark web stuff and they will legitimately just I can talk about, let's just look up the iceberg really quick. Dark web iceberg. Okay. Okay. Okay, yeah. So you can see up here, this is the normal internet. This is from way back in the day as well. Here, I'll move my face cam so you can see it. I'm gonna move myself right up here. You can see here, there is a like Netflix when it was a website instead of like an app. Google, iTunes, Yahoo, Facebook, Twitter, or Tumblr, and like Bing. These are normal everyday internet websites. This is the surface internet, right? Right below that you have like WikiLeaks, which is like the deep web. That is like, obviously if you don't know what WikiLeaks is, it's like basically they leak information from like government officials and people they don't like. There's 4chan, which is that extra level, and then you get into Tor, like the Onion router. And then there's like obviously like we can't really talk about that here. That happens there. Hidden Wiki, which is like stuff for like collected information for like murderers. Tor PM, which I believe is snuff, which if you don't know what that is, you're gonna have to look it up. Onion Chan, which is like 4chan but worse. And then like Onion IB is like getting down there. Like comprises like the dark web comprises of 0.01% of the total internet database, right? Accessible via special browsers such as Tor, the Onion Router project, also known as the Internet's Underground. Example, the Silk Road, and a criminal version of the eBay shut down by the FBI twice in 2013 and 2014, and untraceable financial interactions. And so the dark web and the deep web were fucking crazy things to like poke around in because I have very mild computer information. Like I know a little bit of software stuff and a lot more hardware stuff, But the stuff I know about software typically revolves around like IP addresses. I'm not necessarily huge on coding, but I know a lot about like how connections can happen. Because I don't know if you all ever played what was the dark web video game? Welcome to the Game. Yep. This game was so creepy because it's so similar. Like basically you have to figure out these different puzzles to get to deeper websites. Your goal is to find the Red Room, which if you don't have an idea what the Red Room is, it is basically a killing room where they like basically show footage of people being murdered. And unfortunately things like this do happen, but it's like it's in the dark web. It's very difficult to get to. It's a very convoluted process. And you can even have your computer just burned, like completely fucked from stuff like that, like from going into the dark web. So you have to be very careful about the kinds of things you use to go on it, but you also have to be very careful about how you protect yourself. You need like VPNs, and you need to be connected to like an internet that's not your own kind of thing. Like you just have to be very careful with that kind of stuff. But anyways, this is a big hyperfixation of mine for a while, so I know a lot about it. But not a lot, but I know enough about it to hyperfixate on it.
2010s, content involving the dark web started to really ramp up. It isn't to a crazy extent like some of the other things on here, but it's worth mentioning. This mainly came in the form of stories, like those of red rooms, black markets, and other messed up websites. Though since it's the dark web, some of it was real, and most of it was bullshit. Just as a bit of history, the dark net has actually existed since 2000, with the release of Freenet, but the first real spike in public interest was in 2015. Overall, this point is in a bit of a gray area, since in public interest was in...
I really started looking into the dark web stuff around 2015. I got really into it around there. Because this was the same time I was in my creepypasta arc. I was listening to creepypastas and poking around my Tor browser nonstop for days. Like for years.
2015.
There's definitely someone out there who has my like exact location at all times now because of the amount of times I poked around that fucking browser.
Overall, this point is in a bit of a gray area, since most of the horror stuff on the dark web is just stories and creepypastas. But there's always a chance that some of it's real, which in a way makes it even scarier.
3 a.m. challenges. Do I know this one? Is this like the fucking like the suffocation challenge, like the hang yourself challenge? That shit they put on the shit they put on Criminal Minds, where like these I'm not sure. These. I drank this Among Us potion at 3 a.m. and became the imposter. Anyways. Orky?
That's funny. This is funny. I laugh at this.
Thank you for skimming over that. I appreciate. Analog horror. Oh no. Oh, not analog horror. This is when we're getting into the shit that actually creeps me out to this day. Oh, Chad, I don't want to do this one.
Analog horror is a recent trend that started popping off in the late 2010s. The genre can be summarized as VHS-styled horror videos, trying to emulate the look of home movies or VHS recordings from the 80s and 90s. People have tried to say that this or that is the first analog horror video, but to be honest, as the genre is just VHS tape-styled horror, I'm going to say that there is no first for this, since that's such a wide-ranging amount of videos. For all we know, there's some proto-analog horror video out there from like 2008 that's simply gone undiscovered. What really popularized the genre, though, was the series Local 58, created by Chris Straub, who also created a very famous creepypasta called Candle Cove. The series has a bunch of unique videos, with my personal favorite video being Contingency. I'm not spoiling these because they're awesome and worth checking out.
Contingency is a good one.
Analog horror is, since it isn't an idea and instead an aesthetic, there's both works based on existing properties and completely original concepts. Some examples of things based on existing properties would be things like the Walton Files or FNAF VHS. Both of these things were heavily inspired by, or are literally using, the Five Nights at Freddy's series for their stories, but doing so in ways the games never did. The original works are where things really get crazy, with things like the aforementioned Local 58, the Mandela Catalog, or my personal favorite, the Monument Mythos.
Mandela Catalog was crazy.
Original works that have spawned entire fans.
Mandela Catalog was fucking crazy. We could go over these. Honestly, I would love to do that. I would love to go over like old creepypastas with chat. Honestly, that would be something I would be so hyped to do. I love horror games. I love the feeling of like being scared, you know? It's a fantastic feeling.
And really drove the medium forward. There's even subgenres of analog horror, usually experimental and one-off, with things like the Nixonverse, which describes itself as analog super horror, combining traditional analog horror with superheroes, creating some of the most buck-nutty videos I've ever seen. To conclude this section, analog horror is far from dead, as new concepts are still being actively cranked out and produced, but in my opinion, unless something major comes along, it's past its prime and will likely fade away over the next.
Is that just a mention for like Homelander from The Boys? Like evil superheroes? Secretly psychotic evil superheroes?
Next few years. But feel free to make fun of me if that prediction is dead wrong.
How are the Backrooms recent? I guess, was the Backrooms that recent? Like 2019?
Being popularized around the same time as analog horror, the Backrooms are a concept derived from a post on 4chan. The post contained the image seen here, of an empty office-like space, with the text saying that if you no-clip out of reality in the wrong area, you'll fall into an endless space of moist carpet, mono-yellow walls, and
moist carpet's the fucking worst. It probably smells terrible there. Stuffy. No breeze. I can imagine exactly what it smells like in there. I can imagine exactly what it smells like in there.
Here's something moving around. It's definitely heard you first. A scary concept, but nothing too complex. Perfect for the internet to take it and warp it into their own creations. The months following this saw people creating all kinds of takes on the Backrooms in all different mediums. There were people treating it like SCP Foundation 2.0, assigning wiki pages for different monsters that roamed around, even coming up with new.
There is a website. Backrooms Wiki. Wait, no. Yep, this one. You can go to levels. Yep. Zenith Station. Like, this stuff is so cool. Like, I love Backrooms type shit. It's been one of my hyperfixations recently.
On the other hand, you had the purists, who wanted to keep it as simple as possible, as the horror lied in the endless nothingness you would face if you ended up in the backroom, rather than
I'm
what
saving my
scary
game and
monsters
exiting.
you would face. Both have their merits, but neither one is the definitive backrooms, as like SCP, it's a public concept. I'd be hard-pressed not to mention what is widely considered to be one of the best adaptations of the series, Kane Pixel's Backrooms, but they've gotten millions upon millions of views, so I'm not going to go in depth on them. These are 100% worth a watch if you haven't seen them, and you're in any...
Like, the shitty, shaky VHS vibe to these videos is amazing.
way interested in the Backrooms. They've got excellent production value, and are a great middle ground between complete emptiness and SCP 2.0. Similar to analog horror, the Backrooms are an ongoing concept, so projects are still coming out.
There's a entity... Was Entity XX? I just call him Larry the Cable Guy. This guy. Yeah, this guy's freaky as fuck. Freaky as fuck.
and things are subject to massively changing.
Crazy.
But with the backrooms out of the way, a sort of spin-off was derived from them that started picking up steam just a little bit later.
Yep. Liminal spaces is crazy.
Now, despite surging into the mainstream after the popularization of the backrooms, liminal spaces have actually been a concept for a while now. There's books going back decades on the subject.
Yep.
Liminal spaces as we know them now are essentially images of places that are just slightly off enough where they evoke a weird feeling. Typically, they're abandoned or empty places that usually would have things in them. These aren't always horror, but for some people, they're at least unnerving. Due to this, though, I'll keep this one short. While they're similar in many ways,
it follows the concept, like, I feel like this follows, like, the, here. The rare earth hypothesis. It follows that, where it's like the two realities of our universe in general is that we're either alone in our mental capacity and in life on Earth, or we're not. And both are equally as terrifying. It is equally as terrifying that there could be someone there in those liminal spaces, but it's also equally scary that there's nobody there at all. You are completely alone. You are isolated. And both are equally as fucking scary. At least in those situations. It follows that theory. That's why it's so unnerving to people.
there's a clear difference between the backrooms and liminal spaces. One is a hypothetical, never-ending, boring maze, and liminal spaces are typically places you've felt like you've been to before, but something is just ever so slightly off. However, oftentimes backrooms creators take liminal spaces and incorporate their aesthetics into backrooms projects. And if I have to say liminal spaces or backrooms one more time, I'm going to go ballistic.
Those Widow kids are Widow will be hitting the Gwitty right now.
Not really an era, as we're only 2 years in, but I gotta...
Is this video 2 years old? It is.
Say, the 20...
Year and a half old.
2020 so far haven't really impressed me in terms of innovation. That's not to say there weren't a bunch of cool projects over the last few years, but they've mainly been riding the coattails of things like analog horror and the backrooms. In this section, I'm just going to list off a bunch of recent smaller horror things that I can think of off the top of my head. This isn't supposed to be a complete list of every project, but rather a few smaller, not worth an entry on their own type of things. Also, a handful of these things cross over into the late 2010s, but I don't care. I'm sorry, John, Gorefield.
I'm hungry, John. Sorry, John. I'm hungry. Heaven is void of light, John. Gorefield's fucking crazy, though. I no longer require eyes, John. Fucking weird.
Field, or rather just creepy Garfield.
John, I can smell you.
Of people creating images of messed up, eldritch versions of Garfield. The community was spawned from posts by William Burke in 2018.
Just got from sogging and scheming. And how's the video? We're talking about Garfield. I went on a fucking 20-minute rant about, or like a 15-minute rant about fucking backrooms and creepypastas. How was your SOG? I hope it was amazing.
2013. It's also worth mentioning the adaptation by Lumpy Touch, which took inspiration from Burke's drawings and turned them into a fake Game Boy game. I'd recommend checking those out if you haven't seen them, if you've got some time on your hands. Anti-piracy screens were a trend going around for a while, showing off usually fake anti-piracy screens. These usually included threatening or generally unnerving imagery, and that's all there really was to these. Typically, these were made for Nintendo games, with the Mario 64 one in particular being quite popular, made by Super Mario 64 Beta Archive.
Anti-piracy is a serious kind of company.
Channel creating fake beta content for Mario 64. Retro PS1 styled horror games have absolutely popped off within recent years.
These ones are
games taking on the aesthetic.
Terrible.
Along with this, the website itch.io, a platform.
Oh, Ooh, Itch.io. I love Itch.io. I love Itch.io. I fuck around with this all the time. I just like looking at the different games. They're fun.
For indie devs to share their games started gaining a ton of popularity, as it was a great place
That's
to
the
post
link.
short indie games. Browsing the website today,
A lot of
you'll
fun,
find you
lot
a
of fun
near
little
infinite
games on
amount of
there.
Short indie horror games if you're looking for something to play. This one's more on here as a gag since I make them. By the way, check those out. Iceberg videos started getting pretty popular after a Mario 64 iceberg started floating around online, which had all kinds of theories and creepy things on it. Since then, icebergs have taken on numerous forms and are a great way to organize videos, as they usually talk about well-known to completely obscure things in a descending order. On the other hand, some talk about topics in order of how disturbing they are.
Yep.
Overall, I really like these. And
They're really
you're
fun.
coming to my channel. Don't worry. Siren Head is a creature created by Trevor Henderson, which is, as the name suggests, a very tall creature with a blasting siren for a head. A few adaptations of it have been produced, mainly being short videos with Siren Head edited in, and also a few games have been produced, but they aren't nearly as popular as something like Slender. It's also worth mentioning Trevor's other work, as he cranks out odd monsters and creepy creatures all the time, like it's nobody's business. Definitely check out his art pages if you want to see some cool concepts and designs. Next bots aren't technically a new thing, but they've completely
Jesus fucking Christ.
overtaken the Gary's Mod community for the last few years. In essence, they are PNGs that chase you around. And that's...
This is not 2020s. This is not 2020s. Oh, this is not 2020s. I have a fucking video on YouTube hidden somewhere in the realms of nowhere. One sec. One sec. Damn. I made a video because the person that I originally remember watching do this was a YouTuber called Breezy. And at the time, her YouTube channel was called something else. But she did these things called meme runs, where she would take these and put them in her Gary's Mod world with her and her friends. And then would basically have to run away from these guys for like a full 30-minute video. It was more funny than anything else because you got to listen to this bitch scream the whole time. Wait. Let me see if I can find one really quick. Yep. Really quick. We'll look at this one really quick.
Why is he just like, he's like slithering on the ground?
I can show you a world.
I don't know why he's on the ground. I can't figure this out.
He's sniffing for the trail.
But she deleted her YouTube channel and decided to not do YouTube stuff anymore. She does occasionally stream on Twitch, but she stopped doing content in general, which makes me kind of sad because I miss her content. She actually was one of my trans awakenings. She also made really... I referenced this fucking video. I reference this fucking video all the time. Specifically this first part of this video. This is, she also used to do these videos, which were like Gary's Mod, SFM videos. And I referenced the beginning part of this video far too much.
And so I told the dog, that's impossible.
Oh, fuck. Oh my gosh, you're so perfect.
Oh my god, you're so perfect.
And lacking in flaw.
in flaw.
And then the next part, he goes, I know, right? Just wait until we start dating. I begin, I don't know, something about exchange of alcohol.
Just wait till we start dating and I begin drinking obscene amounts of alcohol.
What? Don't worry about it.
What?
I'll worry about it.
See? And then there's a whole bit where they pull out the fucking Taken, the Taken movie. That bit where he goes, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want.
Oh, one sec, I gotta grab this. Hello.
I don't know who you are.
I know this fucking video like the back of my hand. But I reference that first part where I go, and then I told the dog, that's impossible. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Back to Better Call Saul.
That's really it. For some reason, these are massive, and a ton of people in the community hate them for clogging up the workshop, as they're so easy to produce. There's been a few ARGs using TikTok as a platform, but that really isn't anything groundbreaking. They're worth a mention though, since I imagine it'd be pretty hard to keep a dedicated audience on an app like that. Over the past couple of years, a bunch of video game-centered ARGs started popping up across YouTube. Usually these have to do with lost beta builds, weird occurrences in games, or uncovering old footage off a previously lost hard drive. Usually they do this through editing and rendering the videos in old
What's up? I don't know if I'm going to be... Okay. my roommate couldn't open up a fucking jar of spaghetti sauce, and she hands it to me, and I just go, let's go, and it pops right open.
Windows Movie Maker.
Jesus, that's great.
Videos feeling straight out of the early 2010s. Channels like Gunslinger Pro 2009 pretend to have old videos that are just now resurfacing, involving haunted or self-aware copies of their respective games. I expect this type of ARG and video style to really start popping off in the near future, as people pivot away from analog horror into this new type of horror, which instead parodies the late 2000s to the early 2010s, rather than the 80s and 90s. I mean, let's be completely real here for a moment. A good chunk of people making analog horror stuff weren't even around for when VHS was still in use. And with that, we conclude the Internet Horror Timeline. I'm sorry if I missed anything on here, but
Okay, but for real, this is so fucking cool. I'm gonna move some stuff around here so you can see the whole thing. This is impressive. This is legitimately impressive. Like, this is awesome. This is legitimately so cool. Honestly, fantastic video. Amazing video.
I simply couldn't have gone over every single internet horror thing that ever existed. If enough people are into this, I'd be willing to do the era deep dives I mentioned earlier, or even just doing timelines on other topics. With that wrapped up, for a general channel update, part 4 of the big iceberg I'm working on is underway, and should be out within the next few weeks. It's by far the biggest on the whole thing, with over 200 entries, so clear your schedule before you watch it. After that, I've got another non-iceberg, non-timeline video that I've been wanting to make for a while, so stick around for that because it'll be really...
That was awesome. That was awesome. I was not expecting to be that into that video. Fucking, here we are. Oh, right here. That was awesome. That was an amazing video. Okay. So my voice is starting to give out on me. It's been cracking a little bit here and there. So we're going to make today's stream a little shorter. Unfortunately. I have a movie night to get to and go enjoy some movies with some friends. But thank you to everybody who was here today. Had a lot of good friends. Wasn't expecting a huge stream because obviously it's been a minute since I streamed last. And so it'll be a few days before things are really back picking up steam, but we'll be all right. Anyways, we're going to just end the stream here because it's been about 3 hours. I got some stuff to go do. But yeah, B, thanks for hanging out. Jess, Bozo, Mary, and everyone else who is here. The lurkers. Shout out to the lurkers. We only have a couple of people here, so I'm not gonna bug anyone by rating them. But I don't know. Go watch Small T. That's what I'm gonna be watching for the minute or so. So y'all have an excellent rest of your day, night. Go kiss your friends. Have a great night. Mwah.